Welcome to Vermont Surrogacy Café, from contracts to contractions. We are your hosts, Shanna and
Jess from Vermont Surrogacy Network. A Surrogacy Cafe is your home for casual conversations about gestational surrogacy,
where we answer your questions, dispel myths, discuss current events around surrogacy, and sometimes practice our stand-up routines. Welcome.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh,
I'm great. We're here today with our Chief Morale Officers, Opal and Ruby.
Opal and Ruby.
When you hear that noise in the background, that's just our pups.
That's just the dogs. All right. So today we are going to talk about why surrogacy, why you, why now?
Why now?
Yeah, why now?
Yes. Let's see. Why surrogacy?
Yeah, why surrogacy?
Why not?
Why not?
Why not surrogacy? I mean, it seems like a great option for pretty much anybody who's ever had a child before and loves being pregnant. However, you don't have to be in love with being pregnant. I have worked with someone who really didn't like being pregnant at all, but she absolutely loves surrogacy. So
that's awesome.
Not a qualifying event or factor.
Right. So why surrogacy? Why now? I think definitely why not now?
Yeah.
You know?
Why not now? If you had to ask me why not now, would come into areas of, is it the right time for you? Is this the best time for you and your family? Is your life stable? Do you have a good support system?
Yes. Those are important parts.
Do you have any major trips coming up that are going to be in the way of pregnancy, or going to places that, countries maybe you shouldn't be going to because of the Zika virus? So there are factors that you have to say, is this the right time? Maybe surrogacy is next year and not this year.
Right.
For those factors.
Let's see. Let's talk about what makes a good surrogate and why now? Like how do I want to say this? Like, you have to be stable, for one. You have to have a stable home life and stable income, either through yourself or your spouse. And you have to have at least one child already.
Yes.
Maybe you're done having children.
Full-term pregnancy.
Yeah.
Healthy pregnancy, no major complications.
Yeah.
And there's a list of those, which you can find on our website. But why now? It's really, it really is a very personal decision.
It is.
As to what is this and why is it right now? A lot of women will tell you and explain that they just felt this calling, this pull, or they've been thinking about it even for like 7 years now, or since they had their first child.
Yeah.
But the time wasn't right 7 years ago. They wanted to have one or two of their own kids. They wanted to make sure had completed their families. However, it's not necessary. You don't have to complete your family first. You just have to know that every pregnancy is different, and has its own risks, whether it's yours or a surrogate pregnancy. They're all the same in the same nature. The stability, not only physical stability, but mental, emotional, household stability, all very important factors. Talking to your kids. That's another big piece. So if you have, 2 or 3 year olds, maybe it's not such a big deal in talking to your kids about it, because they're going to understand it differently. Right. But if you've got a 13 or 14-year-old, you definitely want to talk to your kids and see how they feel about this.
And have that conversation. Yeah.
Have the conversation. Make sure it works for your entire family and your household before you do this. It is also a requirement to ensure that your spouse or partner is on board. If they're not on board, you really can't become a surrogate.
Right. And also, too, if you're single, right? Yeah. As long as you still have a stable home.
Yes, absolutely.
And a support system and friends and family that are around you, it's totally worth it.
Absolutely it is. You do not have to be in a relationship at all in order to be a surrogate.
Right. And we've had single surrogates.
Many single surrogates.
The other thing, too, is that being a surrogate, for the most part, the majority of the surrogacy is actually just being pregnant.
Yes, it is.
Versus the initial stages of like having to go to this appointment or that appointment, having to drive here or drive there, right? Having to go get blood work done, those types of things. So you definitely need to have flexibility in the beginning, but then the rest of the time, you're just pregnant and you're growing a baby and going to regular OB appointments.
Basically, once you get past that first trimester, it's just standard routine pregnancy, except that you're communicating with the parents. Yeah. They're involved in your appointments or recording appointments to them, letting them know what's happening, things like that, planning for the delivery with all of you together.
And you get new friends in your life.
You absolutely do. Yeah, it's just important to remember that first trimester and the pre-pregnancy portion of surrogacy is what makes surrogacy different than your own pregnancy.
Right.
There are more appointments. You do have to have that flexibility in your schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So that pulls into that really why now and is now the right time for you. Because you do have to have that flexibility. As much as no one wants to be told when and where and how to do things, there is a process that's required in surrogacy that honestly is mostly based around your menstrual cycles.
Yeah.
So it's not that anyone has any control over this. The doctors are not saying, hey, this is when. You know, the lawyers are not saying it. The parents are not saying it. It's just your body says this is the right time.
Yeah.
So that's why knowing if you have vacations scheduled and planned and things like that, making sure you tell people that right away and from the beginning so that those pieces can also be balanced in.
Right.
To what you're looking for.
That makes a lot of sense. And who can be a surrogate?
Who? Well, number one, you have to have a uterus. It has to be a working, functional uterus, and it cannot have had more than 3 C-sections.
Okay, so women that have had C-sections, no more than 3 before you become a surrogate.
Exactly. If you've had 3 C-sections, you know you're going to have another C-section.
Right.
Which means after that, you will be disqualified from surrogacy with any clinic. So we can't even say agency because those are criteria that the clinics are required to follow.
Okay.
This is something that's FDA regulated.
Okay.
So the clinics have to follow those orders and
those rules
so that everyone else has to follow them as well.
Yep.
So let's say that's the beginning. So yes, a working functional uterus that has not been sliced and diced. I'm sorry, my puppy is deciding that she thinks my hand is a chew toy.
Yep.
We're going to work through that, aren't we, Ruby? Yes. Good girl, though. You'll figure it out. You're just a puppy. So back to that question. Who could be a surrogate? I don't know, Shanna. You know. Tell me, who could be a surrogate?
So you have to be, usually, per the clinics, you have to be between the ages of 23.
We say 23, 21 technically.
Technically 21.
Yeah.
23, though, there's a little bit more life experience, a little bit more maturity, especially when you're having babies young, like between 18 and 21 anyway. So there's that little part of it. And then up to 42.
We cut off at 42. Technically, you can be until you're 45.
Okay.
However, it takes time to get through the application process and become pregnant.
Yeah.
And truthfully, more clinics and more intended parents are really hoping for a surrogate who's closer to 40. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, sometimes we're not ready to become surrogates.
Yeah.
Until we're older.
Yeah.
I find personally that some of the best surrogates that I've ever worked with are between the ages of 35 and 42.
Okay.
Because life is stable. Their partners are stable. Their home life is stable. Employment is stable. Everybody's balanced. And their kids are a little bit older.
Yeah.
But that does not mean that I haven't worked with a 21-year-old who also was an incredible surrogate.
Right.
Because she just had it together. Yeah. So it really is, it's individual.
Yeah. And then there's also like your BMI needs to be within the normal ranges.
Or below 35.
Below 35, not obese or morbidly obese.
Correct.
But even then, I mean, you've worked with women to lose weight to become surrogates.
Absolutely. Because the reality is we're all just human.
Yeah.
So we work with a multitude of different clinics. Mm-hmm. And some of them have different requirements and regulations. Some are willing to work with higher BMIs. Some say, nope, this is it. This has to be lower. Honestly, same thing with COVID vaccination. We have a few clinics that still say you have to be vaccinated. We have others that are like, no, it's okay if you're not. Yeah. We just have to let the intended parents know this.
Yeah.
So those are a few different factors. But when it comes to BMI, once you've had a baby, your body changes.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. We all know this. And it's important to be realistic. It's also important to look at the size you were when you became pregnant with your own children. Yeah. Because that is how your body naturally carries. Yes. So some people are not they don't remember the last time they had a 21 or 22 BMI.
Oh gosh, I don't remember the last time I had that.
Right, exactly. It's like, this is just how my body has been. Mm-hmm. You know, when I turned 18, my body was just gaining weight. I didn't have kids for another 4 years. Right. But all of a sudden, my thyroid said, hey, guess what? We're going to start changing things. Yep. So what happened? And before that, I was a twiglet. Right. And that's just how bodies are and how life is. So we do work with people to help them get to where they need to be to have healthy pregnancies and healthy lives and fulfill their own personal goal of becoming a surrogate. Yep.
And then also too, I know that there's this whole thing around like mental health and all that, which mental health is really important. Absolutely. I'm not going to say it's not, but there's people that have come to us, that have mentioned it to us, that they've been denied because they were on anxiety medication for such and such a period in their life, and they're no longer on it, but they were denied because they were on it.
Right.
And so I definitely want to clear that up for our organization, because we're about the individual and not just the stats.
Yes, exactly. Good question. Good statement. So there are definitely strict rules and regulations around mental health and the ability to be a surrogate. And it really comes down to, being off that medication for a certain amount of time, which we're looking for, 3 to 6 months if possible.
Yeah.
Some medications are fine for pregnancy, but it's still preferred because no one in the field has all the understanding and knowledge around how babies are impacted by these medications.
Yeah. But situational is also different than chronic.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
So I definitely want to make that distinction as it relates to the people that we've talked to that have become surrogates. Yes. But yeah, it's definitely one of those things. And all of the surrogates go through psychological evaluations anyway. So that's not up to us. That's up to the
but it's also, when you get started in this process, we're not like a lot of other organizations that you just go in and say, oh, yep, I had anxiety or depression once. You check that box on the application and they say, oh, sorry, you're denied. Yeah. We want to know, because open, honest, transparent communication.
Yes, exactly.
But we still will learn this about you during an actual phone call or a Zoom meeting or getting to know you session to answer your questions.
Conversation.
An actual conversation with a real person.
Human.
Oh my God. What a crazy concept. And that's what you do at the beginning with us.
Yes.
It's really about the first conversations and saying, yes, this is something we think we can work with, or we can't.
Yep.
And we're going to tell you that honestly without wasting a lot of your time.
Yeah.
But it is important to realize that sometimes those things do impact you, but hopefully it's something we can work through, and find a clinic that's willing to work with you.
Yeah.
But again, if you have bipolar, if you have severe anxiety, if you've had these things and they're chronic, there's a good chance you will not be able to be a surrogate. And that's not anything against you as a person. It's just the reality that those medications are really important to your life and for your stability and your family stability.
Yeah.
And it's very important to take care of your health first.
Right.
It's wonderful to want to be a surrogate, but you have to look at you and your family first.
Right. And is it applicable to your situation?
Yep.
Exactly. And the other thing too, that's basic medical things, right? So BMI and psychological evaluation, those are basic medical things.
Right.
But the types of personalities that we've seen come through are all different women.
Totally.
Very different walks of life, different ages, different socioeconomic, right? But they all have a few things in common.
Yeah.
They're altruistic.
Yep.
They have this desire and this drive inside of them to help. Right?
Yeah.
What
nurturers by nature.
There we go. Nurturers by nature. I love that.
Yes. Yes.
And
the need to fulfill the goals and dreams of other people, not just their own.
Right. Exactly. And to give the joy too. Like some of the interviews that I've done is this feeling that I had when I held my baby for the first time, I want other people to experience that can't.
Yep.
And I want to be part of that.
Absolutely. And every surrogate at the end of the delivery happens and they get this amazing moment where they get to see the parents with the baby and this feeling of, I did it. Yeah. I did it. This is amazing. I did it. We did it. As a family, we did it. We created this other family. There's nothing like it. There's just nothing like that kind of joy and accomplishment, fulfillment.
Yep. And for the different types of surrogates that are out there, some surrogates want relationships with their intended parents and the child afterwards. True. And some intended parents also want the same thing.
Absolutely.
Some don't.
Right.
And that's okay. But it's personality driven.
It is personality driven.
And so what I love about our organization is that we match those personalities with those other personalities.
Exactly.
Right?
That's what it's about.
If you want to have that long-term relationship, we will find and match you with someone that wants that long-term relationship.
Exactly. The matching really makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah. And I think that is what sets us apart.
I couldn't agree more.
An organization, but also that's what helps surrogacy along in general.
Yeah, it does.
Because it creates that lifelong bond.
I couldn't say it better myself. It really is. That's what it's all about. That's what makes us very different, significantly different. We're not just looking at algorithms. We're not looking at numbers or who's next in line.
Yeah.
There's, of course, a little bit of who's next in line, right? We want to make sure that we're respecting people and their timelines, but it's also, we're going to skip somebody if it's just not the right match. And and our intended parents know this, that they're in a wait list. They're on the wait list and they're in the match area. And there's probably 5 or 7 people in the matching area. So we're comparing people in their profiles, not to say, oh, this is better or worse, but this is a better match. Yes. This looks like a better fit. This looks like it's going to be, you know, matching gold and not platinum or silver or bronze. It's going to be perfect.
Right. Yeah. I love that. And then the other things, the types of surrogates that we've worked with, I mentioned the socioeconomic, right? But also, some are stay-at-home moms, some are attorneys, some are doctors, some are nurses, some are like all walks of life. So it doesn't matter what you do.
It matters who you are.
Exactly.
Yeah. It matters who you are. And we do honestly have people. It's been, you know, one of the myths for ages has been that people just do this for money, which $50,000 for first-time surrogates, and that's just the base is the base compensation. Yes, and that's just the base compensation for first-time surrogates. Right. People love doing this, and they can make an extra 10, 15,000 every time they become a surrogate again. Yeah, but there's also additional compensations that happen throughout this process. Yeah, so those are some of the things to watch out for. Up to $85,000. Yeah, $100,000 first-time surrogates. Oh, no, sorry guys, that's not happening. If you want to have heavy complications. Oh, absolutely. If you're looking at the worst surrogacy in the history of time, yes, then you can make $100,000, but that will be your only surrogacy and you're done. Right. And you probably won't come out of it with a uterus. Yeah. And that's where I think transparency in the industry needs to happen, because when you're reading some of these websites with some of these surrogacy companies, it's like, oh, you can make up to this amount. Okay, well, I can make up to that, but what is my base compensation? Right. Like, I come from a business background where I worked for large corporations, so I know how they hide things, and I know how they, like, the wording is just stupid. But also asking those questions. Yeah. And because if you want to become a surrogate, you need to be able to ask those questions, right? To someone. Yes. And if you're not getting answers or you're getting a robot, maybe it's not the correct surrogacy company to be going through. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, not to be like, oh, don't do it. Right, exactly. Right. But that's why we started. So you could talk to a real person and have real conversations with people. Yeah. Yeah, real answers. Yeah, we're very much about transparency. And when it comes to that, the bottom dollar, I talk to women all the time that are saying, well, I am looking at other surrogacy agencies. And I'm like, great. I love the honesty about that. Tell me about it. Tell me who you're looking at working with. Some of them I've heard of, some I haven't. I check into places. Yeah. I answer questions sometimes about other places, you know, and to let them know what other questions they should be asking when they have those interviews, because it's really about the people. Yeah. That's what this has always been about for the last 12 years, is about the surrogates, the people, being honest about that, letting our experience and knowledge guide them to have the best experience they can have, whether it's with us or someone else. Yeah, exactly. Yep. And you know, hopefully they find somebody like us that gives them that kind of support and honesty. And that cares. Exactly. So we talked to surrogates, you know, just a couple days ago I did that. We're like, well, I'm honestly looking at other places because, you know, they offer more money or more compensation. Yeah. We've had other surrogates that worked with us in the past say, hey, just letting you know, I am looking at other places because they offered more money. But, you know, but they'll be like, but they wouldn't, you know, accept my profile because I was on anxiety medications once. Yep. Or I was on something else. So they get cut off, even though they've been surrogates, because something in their past that they just check the box in the application. Real people aren't looking at those applications. No, it's algorithm. It's an algorithm. Yeah. And we don't do that at all. We look at every application and every person that comes through. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So makes a difference. Definitely makes a difference. It really does. Anything else? I don't know. There's always so many more things. I think we're really just talking about, you know, why surrogate, like why surrogacy, why you, why now? Yeah. And the basics and the myths, and there's so many more. If you're ready to be a surrogate, if this is a drive or this is a desire that you have in your heart to become a surrogate, why not? Why not? But also, why not reach out to us, ask us Ask us any questions you have. We're definitely going to answer them.
Yeah, and we don't charge people to ask us questions.
Exactly. No, it is just come set up a time to chat with us or send us an email with a question, and we're happy to answer those for you.
Exactly.
Yep, anytime.
All right. Well, I think that's all for today.
I know, and the pups have already just laid down to take a nap. So they settled in pretty quickly.
Yep. And what did you call them? Our what?
Oh, our chief morale officers.
Chief morale
officers. There used to be just one. Opal was the chief morale officer, but now Ruby has joined the ranks.
Yeah.
So now we have 2 officers.
Mm-hmm. 2 officers. I love it. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. It was fun.
It was fun.
Until next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.